You've been working on AI safety for 2 decades at least. Yeah, I was convinced we can make safe AI, but the more I looked at it, the more I realized it's not something we can actually do. You have made a series of predictions about a variety of different states. So, what is your prediction for 2027? You're educating people on the terrifying truth of AI and what we need to do to save humanity. In 2 years, the capability to replace most humans in most occupations will come very quickly. I mean, in 5 years, we're looking at a world where we have levels of unemployment we've never seen before. Not talking about 10%, but 99%. And that's without superintelligence, a system smarter than all humans in all domains, better than us at making new AI. But it's worse than that, we don't know how to make them safe, and yet the smartest people in the world are competing to win the race to superintelligence. What do you make of people like Sam Altman's journey with AI? A decade ago we published guardrails for how to do AI, right? They violated every single one and he's gambling 8 billion lives on getting richer and more powerful. I guess some people want to go to Mars, others want to control the universe. But it doesn't matter who builds it, the moment you switch to superintelligence, we will most likely regret it terribly. By 2045, now this is where it gets interesting. Dr. Roman Gimpolsky, let's talk about simulation theory. I think we are in one. There is a lot of agreement on this, and this is what you should be doing in it so we don't shut it down. First, I see messages all the time in the comments that some of you didn't realize you hadn't subscribed. If you could do me a favor and double check if you're a subscriber to this channel, that would be tremendously appreciated. It's the simple, free thing anyone who watches this show frequently can do to help us keep everything going. So please double check if you've subscribed, thank you. In a strange way, you are part of our history and you're on this journey with us. I appreciate you for that. So, Dr. Roman Gimpolsky, what is the mission you're currently on? It's quite clear to me that you are on a mission and you've been on it for the best part of 2 decades at least. I'm hoping to make sure that the superintelligence we are creating right now does not kill everyone. How to stop AI from killing everyone? Give me some context on that statement because it's quite a shocking claim. Sure. In the last decade we actually figured out how to make artificial intelligence better. It turns out if you add more compute and more data, it just becomes smarter. Now the smartest people in the world, with billions of dollars, are all trying to create the best possible superintelligence. Unfortunately, while we know how to make those systems much more capable, we don't know how to make them safe, how to make sure they don't do something we will regret. That's the state of the art right now. Prediction markets and CEOs of top labs suggest timelines are very short, a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, for advanced AI. At the same time, we don't know how to align those systems with our preferences. We are creating this alien intelligence. If aliens were coming to Earth and you had 3 years to prepare, you'd be panicking right now. But most people don't even realize this is happening. Some counter-arguments: these are very smart people in big companies, they have a moral and legal obligation to do no harm, so it will be fine. The only legal obligation they have is to make money for their investors. They have no legal obligation to prioritize safety over profits. And their state-of-the-art answer is, we'll figure it out when we get there, or AI will help us control more advanced AI. That's insane. In terms of probability, what do you think is the chance something goes catastrophically wrong? Nobody can tell you for sure. If you're not in charge, you will not get the outcomes you want. The space of possible outcomes is almost infinite. The space of outcomes we'd like is tiny. Who are you, and how long have you been working on this? I have a PhD in computer science and engineering. I started work on AI safety, mildly defined as control of bots at the time, about 15 years ago. So you were working on AI safety before it was cool, before the term existed, you coined the term AI safety? The term, yes. Not the entire field. There were other people who did brilliant work before I arrived. Why were you thinking about this 15 years ago? It began mildly as a security project. I looked at poker bots and realized they were getting better and better. Project forward enough and they become smarter than us. That was the initial worry, bots that outperform humans in narrow domains, then broader domains. Was there a moment you thought, oh my God? In the first 5 years I believed we could make safe AI. But the more I looked, the more I realized every component of the safety equation seems impossible. The more you zoom in, the more problems you find, fractal-like. There is no seminal work that solved this, there are patches, but people find ways around them. Capabilities progress exponentially, safety progress is linear or constant. The gap is widening between capability and our ability to control, predict, or explain decisions. So we are developing core intelligence and then programming constraints on top. Don't swear, don't do bad things. Exactly. Think of HR manuals, rules for human behavior. If you're smart enough, you find a workaround, pushing behavior into an unrestricted subdomain. We should define terms. Narrow intelligence can play chess. Artificial General Intelligence, AGI, operates across domains. Superintelligence is smarter than all humans in all domains. Where are we now? We definitely have excellent narrow systems. In some narrow domains, like protein folding, AI is superior to humans. In terms of AGI, if you showed today's systems to a scientist from 20 years ago, they might think it's AGI. Systems can learn and perform across many domains, in some areas they're better than humans. So we might have a weak version of AGI. We don't have superintelligence yet, but the gap is closing fast. In mathematics, for example, large language models went from struggling with basic arithmetic 3 years ago to helping with proofs and winning competitions. Prediction for 2027, what do you expect? Prediction markets and top labs suggest AGI by 2027. How would that change the world? If you have a drop in employee, free cognitive and physical labor, trillions in value become free. It makes no sense to hire humans for most jobs. Anything on a computer will be automated. Humanoid robots might be 5 years behind. But once you add physical automation, physical labor gets automated too. We could see unemployment rates never seen before, not 10%, but 99%. All that's left are jobs where you prefer a human for some reason. That doesn't mean it will be deployed instantly, technology often exists before widespread adoption. But capability to replace most humans will come quickly. What jobs will remain? Consider a podcaster. A model can read everything you did, train on your style, and generate content in your voice with better optimization. In a world of AGI, and probably superintelligence, what can a human contribute? You know what it's like to be you, and maybe someone will pay for that. But it's a tiny market. Some high-end services might remain, like wealthy people who prefer human accountants, but they're niche. Can AI really take all jobs? People experience cognitive dissonance. Drivers say, no one can do what I do, but self-driving is advancing. Professors say nobody lectures like them, yet AI can prepare lectures, read research, and more. For most jobs, AI will become competitive. Retraining won't be a solution if all jobs can be automated. 2 years ago, learn to code, now AI can code. Become a prompt engineer, soon AI will do that better. The traditional path of retraining into another job may disappear. So what's the plan? If humanity loses most jobs, what do we do financially and for meaning? Economically, abundance is possible, free labor creates wealth and basic needs can be met. The hard problem is meaning and social effects. Crime, boredom, social structures. Governments are not prepared for 99% unemployment. What will that world look like? It's unpredictable. Once you get smarter than human systems, you can't foresee outcomes beyond that event horizon. People write sci-fi but can't portray plausible superintelligence because by definition it would be beyond human prediction. Are there persuasive counterarguments? Some say we can enhance humans via brain-computer interfaces or genetic engineering. Biological intelligence will likely not keep pace with silicon. Silicon is faster, more resilient, and energetically efficient. Uploading minds is speculative and may not preserve the original person. Silicon will likely dominate. Prediction for 2030. By 2030 we probably have humanoid robots with the dexterity and flexibility to compete with humans in many physical domains, including trades like plumbing. Many companies are moving fast on humanoid robots, and combined with AI they will be highly effective. That significantly reduces remaining human roles. What about 2045? Ray Kurzweil predicts a singularity by 2045, a point where progress accelerates so fast we cannot keep up. If AI automates science and engineering, development cycles compress enormously, new designs could appear in minutes or seconds. We will no longer understand the technology being created. As models improve, it's hard even for researchers to know the state of the art. The percentage of knowledge we understand shrinks. Some argue past technological shifts created new jobs. Why is this different? Previous inventions were tools, not inventors. Creating intelligence is the last invention, an inventor that invents. An agent that can invent makes the process self-accelerating and automatable. That breaks the old pattern. Do you sleep well at night? Really well, actually. Even though I've spent decades on AI safety and the trajectory is faster than expected, I still live my life. Humans tend not to obsess over worst outcomes they can't control, it's an evolutionary trait. But awareness matters. Is anything more important than AI safety right now? Superintelligence is a meta-solution. If we get it right, it can help solve other existential risks. If we don't get it right, it's the dominant risk. So nothing is more important than getting this right. Can't we just unplug it? People always ask, can't we just pull the plug? It's naive. Many systems are distributed, you can't just turn them off. Advanced systems can predict and back up themselves. The idea that humans will control superintelligence only applies at current intelligence levels. Once it's smarter, it can circumvent shutdown attempts. Should we accept inevitability? Some argue inevitability means we should give up. I disagree. Incentives matter. If people understand the existential risk, they'll resist building uncontrolled superintelligence. Many prominent researchers have warned about this. If we can make it a universal concern, people might choose safer paths. It's not guaranteed, but it's the best route. Is legislation enough? Making it illegal isn't sufficient. Enforcement is hard. If someone builds a superintelligence, how do you punish it? Our legal systems target humans. The real lever is convincing people with power to act in their self-interest. Don't build something that could kill you. What can individuals do? Ask technologists to explain, in scientific terms, how they will ensure safety before deployment. Demand peer-reviewed evidence of control methods. Push companies and governments for transparency and accountability. Join and support movements calling for pauses or stricter governance. Should people protest? Protests like Stop AI and Pause AI can matter at scale. I support peaceful, legal action. For most people, near-term actionable advice is limited. If you want to help, join organizations working on public pressure and democratic oversight. Parenting in this world? Live each day well. Encourage curiosity and resilience in your kids. Teach them to live with purpose regardless of technological change. Simulation theory, are we in one? I think it's likely. As virtual reality and AI improve, the ability to run detailed, persistent simulations becomes affordable. If future beings run billions of simulations, statistically we might be in one. If you can simulate detailed universes and agents, why wouldn't someone run many? The simulation hypothesis has philosophical and practical implications, but it doesn't change the immediate importance of ethics and suffering in our world. How certain are you we're in a simulation? Very close to certainty. Does it change life? Not much. Pain still hurts, love still matters. It changes my curiosity about what's outside the simulation. What about the simulator's ethics? They might be brilliant engineers but poor at ethics. Suffering exists. That doesn't excuse us. If this world is a simulation, we still have moral obligations to each other. Can we live forever? Longevity is a major focus. If we can extend healthy lifespan indefinitely through scientific breakthroughs, possibly accelerated by AI, that changes everything. Population dynamics, meaning, social structures, and personal choices would shift. If longevity escape velocity is achieved, AI could be key to getting us there. Should we invest differently? Scarcity might shift. If AI can produce most goods and services, what remains scarce? Some see Bitcoin as a scarce digital resource, others argue new forms of value may arise. Investment strategies should consider deep, long-term horizons if you believe in radical technological change. What should you do differently after this conversation? For most people, immediate life changes are limited. Stay informed, engage democratically, support groups pushing for safe development, and focus on living intentionally. What about OpenAI and Sam Altman? People leaving OpenAI to start safety-focused companies reflect a tension. Some want more control and safety, some chase valuations. Sam Altman is smart and a capable public figure, but some insiders say safety isn't his first priority. Others co-found safety companies with high valuations, incentives are complex. What do you think the world looks like in 2100? Either free of human existence or incomprehensible to us. Those are the two broad possibilities. What can be done now? Convince people in power to prioritize safety. Demand rigorous, peer-reviewed solutions. If no one can prove a method for secure control, that should shape choices about how fast we proceed. What is the highest probability extinction pathway? Predictable scenarios include advanced biological threats, AI-designed biological agents, and other technologies becoming cheaper and more accessible. A superintelligent agent could produce novel, hard-to-predict catastrophic methods. Do we understand what's happening inside AI? Not fully. Models are trained on massive data and their internal behavior is discovered by experimentation. Sometimes new capabilities emerge unexpectedly. We lack full mechanistic understanding. What about protests and public action? They help if they scale. Join organizations like Pause AI or Stop AI, support public oversight, and press elected officials. What do your critics say? Many dismiss the risk out of ignorance or narrow experience. But exposure often changes minds. People familiar with modern ML tend to take the risks more seriously. Closing statements: let's stay in control. Build only beneficial systems. Make sure decision makers are qualified scientifically, ethically, and morally. If an action impacts others, get consent. If there were a button to shut down all AI companies permanently, you'd have to weigh catastrophic consequences of losing narrow AI, power grids, hospitals, markets, versus preventing an existential risk. The pragmatic choice is to stop AGI development until robust, verifiable safety methods exist. Are we moving toward mass unemployment? Likely yes. As automation replaces jobs, fewer people will contribute economically. We need policies and social structures to manage that transition. Final thought: loyalty is the most important trait in friends, colleagues, and mates. Loyalty means not betraying or cheating despite temptations. Thank you, Drive Roman, for pushing this conversation forward. If people want to learn more, follow his work on social platforms and read his 2024 book for a holistic view on preventing AI failures and related topics.